Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of Les Morte d'Arthur. Tonight, it is Sir Lancelot to the rescue once again. I'm very, very excited to be sharing it all with you. So hello, good evening, Julie. Hello, Susan. Hello, Danny. Welcome. A quick warning, by the way, guys. If I suddenly disappear tonight, it's because we've got really heavy storms outside right now, and I've already had the lights and power go out in the house once this evening. I'm stood ready. I have candles and matches and torches and stuff, so that'll keep me going in the night if there's another power cut, but I will disappear from Periscope if it happens. So there's a warning. Storm outside. Simon might have to go and retreat to doing whatever people do when there's no internet or power. And that's probably reading by candlelight. So hopefully that won't happen, but here's a warning. Hello, Rabbit. Hello, Queen. Hello. Welcome everyone. Come in. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening tonight. He says, well, I am very glad to meet you too, Rabbit. Welcome. I hope you enjoy tonight's show. It will be a good show. There will be fighting. There will be smiting. We might even get some buffeting over the heads. Oh, Queen, I am plenty warm tonight. I am sure, Danny. This is... Yes, you've made it in time, Marissa. Well done. And hello, Sarah. Hello. Welcome, guys. It is a storm. It's just a really hectic storm. Hello, Jen. Come in. Welcome, Jen. Good to see you again. Welcome to tonight's show. That's right, Rabbit. That's the attitude. Get a helmet on. Don your best suit of armour. We're in for a treat tonight. We'll give it another minute before we get into tonight's show. Hopefully I won't get cut off by the storm midway through. It's all good. And if you can keep the internet going, if nothing else, then I'm armed. So we could... The blowy kind of storm, Sarah. The storm with the rain and the wind. And it's the kind of storm where at the back of my mind I worry that the castle outside might fall down onto the house. That kind of storm. The one where I do have that vague worry that at some point... Yes, please, Queen, burn some sage, do some dance, pray to the old gods, which is the way to do it. Well, it's possibly even the same one then, Robert. I think we've called our storm Barney. I think we've named it Barney was the name that we went for, because we're cool like that. And we wanted to name it after a dinosaur, but a friendly dinosaur. So thank you, Sarah. I will take those blue skies with a smile. To be honest, I like storms, though. I do enjoy them. I just don't want the storm cutting us out midway through tonight's show. As long as we can avoid that, I'm quite content to enjoy the sounds of the wind and the rain. And as long as nothing falls down and there are no trees that fall on the car, it's all good. Anyway, let's get into tonight's show, ladies and gents, as we go and tell the tale of Lancelot and Sir Lancelot. I liked Barney. Barney was my favourite Power Ranger. He was a good dinosaur. Anyway, this is the story of Lancelot Maltel. Lancelot Maltel is a knight with a misshapen, badly shaped coat of mail, with which he came to the court of King Arthur, claiming that it was the suit of mail that his father had been wearing when he was cruelly slain, and he asked King Arthur to make him a Knight of the Round Table so that he could avenge his father's death. And no sooner was the man made a Knight of the Round Table, the damsel Maldesonne, came to the court of King Arthur, asking for a knight to take up the quest of the Black Shield. And so Lancelot Maltel was quick to try to prove his worth as a knight by taking up this quest. The Lady Maldesonne was angry that such a young, unproven knight should be chosen to take up her quest, and for the past few nights she's rebuked him most unfairly for his knightly deeds, calling him a weak knight, even though, single-handedly, this knight has held off against 100 armed men who fought against him, and he slew 20 of them keenly. But his skills as a knight are still being developed, for in last night's episode, the Lady Maldonado and the Cote Martel were both taken prisoner by the evil knight Sir Nerevan's to keep in his castle of Pendragon, and for a while it seemed as if the two of them might rot in the man's dungeons. But it so happened that another knight of the Round Table heard that this young knight, Le Cote Martel, was off to complete the quest of the Black Shield, and when he heard this knight, who was far more experienced and versed in the quests of the land, and realised it was such a terrible quest that none but perhaps the greatest knights in all the realm might succeed in pursuing it, decided to set off after them. That man's name was Sir Lancelot, and he came to the castle of Pendragon last night to slay Sir Nerevan's in bloody combat. Now with Le Cote Martel freed, as well as the Lady Maldonado, the two of them with Sir Lancelot ride on. I'll take a quick glass of water. So then they took their horses and rode forth apace after Sir Lancelot. And within 2 miles they overtook him and saluted him and thanked him. And the damsel cried to Sir Lancelot, "Eve, mercy," of the bad things she had said, saying, "Now I know the flower of all knighthood is departed for ever between Sir Tristram and yourself, Sir Lancelot. For God knows," said the damsel, "that I have sought you, my Lord Lancelot and Sir Tristram, for so long, and now I thank God that I have met you. And once at Camelot I met with Sir Tristram, and there he rescued this Black Shield with the right hand, holding a naked sword that Sir Bruce sans Pité had taken from me." "Now, fair damsel," said Sir Lancelot, "who told you my name?" "Sir," she said, "there came a damsel from a knight that you fought with at the bridge, and she told me that your name was Sir Lancelot the Lake." "Blame have she then," said Sir Lancelot, "but her lord Sir Nerevan's had told her." "But damsel," said Sir Lancelot, "upon this promise I will ride with you, so that you will no longer rebuke this knight, Sir Le Cote Martel, any more. For he is a good knight, and I doubt not that he shall prove to be a noble knight for his sake and pity, and he should not be destroyed, for I followed him to aid him in his great need." "Ah, Jesus thank you," said the damsel, "for now I will say unto you and to him both, that I rebuked him never for no hate that I hated him, but for great love that I had to him. For ever I supposed that he had been too young and too tender to take him upon these adventures, and therefore by my will I would have driven him away for jealousy that I had of his life. For it may be no young knight's deed that shall achieve this adventure to the end." "Pardon," said Sir Lancelot, "for what you say is well said, and where you are called the damsel Maldonado, I will call you the damsel bien passant." And so they rode forth a great while, until they came to the border of the country of Selous, and there they found a fair village, with a strong bridge like a fortress. And when Sir Lancelot and they were at the bridge, there started forth before them gentlemen and yeomen many that said, "Fair lords, you may not pass this bridge and this fortress by cause of the Black Shield that I see one of you carry. Therefore you shall not pass but one of you at once, and therefore choose you which of you shall enter this bridge first." Then did Sir Lancelot offer himself first to enter within the bridge. "Sir," said the Cote Martel, "I beseech you, let me enter within this fortress, and if I may speed well, I will send for you. And if it happens that I am slain, well, there it goes. And if so be that I am taken prisoner, well, then you may rescue me." "I am loath," said Sir Lancelot, "to let you pass this passage." "Sir," said the Cote Martel, "I pray you, let me put my body in this adventure." "Fine, go your way," said Sir Lancelot, "and Jesus be your speed." And so Sir Le Cote Martel entered, and anon within he met with two brethren, the one who was called Sir Plein la Force, and the other who was called Sir Plein d'Amour. And anon they met with Sir Le Cote Martel. The first Le Cote Martel smote down Plein la Force, and after he smote down Plein d'Amour, then they dressed themselves to their shields and their swords, and bade Le Cote Martel to alight and face them on foot, and so he did, and there was dashing and fighting with swords, and so they began to assail full hard against Le Cote Martel, and with a great many wounds they gave him upon his head, upon his breast, and upon his shoulders. And as he might ever among, he gave them such sad strokes again, and then the two brethren traced and traversed, for to be of both hands of Sir Le Cote Martel, but he, by fine force and knightly prowess, got them before him. And then he felt himself so wounded that he doubled his strokes, and gave them so many wounds that he felled them to the earth, and would have slain them, had they not yielded themselves to him. And then, right so, Sir Le Cote Martel took the best horse that there was of those three, and so rode forth on his way to the other fortress and bridge, and there he met with a third brother, whose name was Sir Plenorius. He was a full noble knight, and there the two of them jousted together, either one smiting each other down, horse and man, to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and gave many sad strokes, and one while the other knight was afore on the bridge, and another while the other wasn't. And thus they fought for 2 hours more, and they never rested, and ever did Sir Lancelot and the damsel watch them. "Alas," said the damsel, "my night fights passing sore, and overlong." "Now may you see," said Sir Lancelot, "that he is in fact a noble knight, and to consider his first battle and his grievous wounds, and either forthwith so wounded as he is, it's a marvel that he might endure such a long battle against such a good knight." Halfway through tonight's tale, ladies and gents, halfway through this tale of Sir Lancelot and Le Cote Martel, Sir Lancelot, Le Cote Martel and his damsel have come to a fortressed bridge, across which it seems that they may only pass if they agree to fight in bloody mortal combat against the men who stand guard over it. Le Cote Martel started to cross the bridge, and it seems almost is on the cusp of winning his battle, but he's been sorely wounded. And yet he fights on, and the damsel and Sir Lancelot are watching, for the moment powerless to intervene. But will they remain powerless for much longer? Ladies and gents, as we round up the final part of tonight's story, let's get into the second part of this tale. And as they watched, Sir Le Cote Martel sank right down upon the earth, and that forewounded and that foreburgled him, that he might not stand. It was then that his opponent had pity of him, and said, "Fair young knight, dismay you not, for had you been fresh when you faced off against me, well, then perhaps I should not have endured so long as you have done now, and therefore for your noble deeds of arms I shall show you kindness and gentleness in all that I may. And forthwith this noble knight Sir Plenorius took him up in his arms and led him to his tower. And then he commanded him to drink wine, and he searched him and stopped the bleeding of his wounds. Sir, said the Coat Martel, withdraw yourself from me, and go you to yonder bridge again, for there you will meet with another manner knight than ever I was. Why, said Plenorius, is there another knight of your fellowship? Yes, said the Coat Martel, there's a much better knight than I am. What's his name? Said Plenorius. You shall not know from me, said the Coat Martel. Well then, said the knight, he shall be encountered with, whatsoever he might be. And then Sir Plenorius heard a knight call, and heard the knight say, Sir Plenorius, where art thou? Either you must deliver me the prisoner that you have taken, and that you have led into your tower, or else come and do battle with me. Then Plenorius got his horse, and came with a spear in his hand, walloping towards Sir Lancelot, waiting for him on the bridge. And so they began to ready their spears, and came together as thunder, and smote each other down so mightily that their horses fell down under them. And then they avoided their horses, and pulled out their swords, and like two bulls they lashed together with great strokes and foins. But ever did Sir Lancelot recover ground upon him, and Sir Plenorius traced to have gone around him. But Sir Lancelot would not suffer that. He bare him back and back, till he came nigh to the tower gate. And then said Sir Lancelot, I know you well for a good knight, but know you well that your life and death is in my hand, and therefore yield yourself to me, and your prisoner too. The other answered no word, but struck mightily upon Sir Lancelot's helm in that instant, and so that the fire sprang from his eyes. And then Sir Lancelot doubled his strokes thickly, smote at him so mightily that he made him kneel down upon his knees, and therewith did Sir Lancelot leap upon him, pulled him grovelling down, and Sir Plenorius yielded him and his tower and all the prisoners that he had taken into the will of Sir Lancelot. And Sir Lancelot received him, and took his offer. And then he rode to the other bridge, and there did Sir Lancelot joust with another 3 of his brethren, the one that was called Palones, the one that was called Pelogris, and the third that was called Sir Palandris. And first upon horseback Sir Lancelot smote them down, and afterwards alit to beat them again upon foot. And he made them yield unto him. And then he returned unto Sir Plenorius, and there he found in his prison King Carados of Scotland, and many other knights. And all of them were delivered, and then Sir Le Coat Martel came to Sir Lancelot, and then Sir Lancelot would have given him all these fortresses and all these bridges. No, said the Coat Martel, I would not have Sir Plenorius's livelihood. He's granted it to you, my lord Sir Lancelot. Ask him to come to King Arthur's court, to be his knight and one of his brethren, and I pray you, my lord, to let him keep his lands. Very well, said Sir Lancelot. If within this next year he will come to the court of King Arthur and be his man along with his 5 brethren, then I will allow this. And as for you, Sir Plenorius, I will undertake, Sir Lancelot of the night, that I will undertake, said Sir Lancelot, at the next feast, that there will be a place made for you, and that you shall become a knight of the Round Table. Sir, said Plenorius, at the next feast of Pentecost I will be at Arthur's court, and at that time I will be guided and ruled as King Arthur and you would have me. Then Sir Lancelot and the coat Morte reposed themselves there until the time that Sir the coat Morte was whole of his wounds. And there they had merry cheer and good rest, and many good games. And there were many fair ladies in that castle too. There, hello Candyman, and there we will end tonight's tale, ladies and gents, with Sir Lancelot finishing off with some heavy smiting against the knights who kept the fortress of the bridge, and that good old the coat Morte was trying to cross. I'm glad that you liked that, Rabbit. And hello Texas, hello. I didn't see you coming in there. Hello everyone. Hello, how are we all? I've had that awful thing where Periscope has not let me know who's been coming through. So great to see you all there. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed that. And Marissa, did you enjoy that as well? Being able to catch the show live. Well, that's it. There's nothing wrong with being sneaky. The important thing is that you got here. That's the big thing. So, welcome. Thank you so much, guys. Big thanks to Susan and Julie, Danny and Rabbit and Queen and Sarah and Marissa and Anne and Taz and Jay and Karen and Texas and Colleen for coming through. And yes, Sarah, I do have a castle next to my house. I do. I think it's on my Instagram. I think there's an Instagram pic of the castle next to my house. I assume it's still there. It's blowing quite hard outside, so it might not be there come morning. You're more than welcome for the read, Texas. It's my pleasure to do this. But yes, there is a castle outside my house. In fact, after this, I will go. It's Simon Tells Tales, Rabbit. Everything is Simon Tells Tales across all social networks. I'll see if I can scope it. It's outside, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get any signal. I live in the middle of the country. Oh, that sounds like a good haunted tale. That sounds like a fine haunted tale. Yes, castle and sheep, and sometimes there's a donkey there as well. The donkey wanders around a bit. But yes, I'll see if I can give a bit of an insight into the castle that's there. Yes, Texas. I work on the edge of the city, but I live in the country. I like it out here. So internet signals a bit there. I will definitely post pics. I will. There. Connect to my hard drive. I will go and do some pics later and post those all over Insta for you to take a look at, so you can see my castle. It's King Richard III's old castle. So Richard III, the evil King Richard, used to live outside my house many hundreds of years ago. Which, yes, it's that nice part of the English countryside where you can't move for finding a castle or a monastery or some ancient thing, which makes me quite happy. I like all that stuff. I'm glad you liked it. Sarah, it's Sheriff Hutton Castle. Sheriff Hutton, that's it. Yes, good old King Richard. But yeah, that's outside. So really cool castle. It's got a little dungeon underneath it, but we can't get into the dungeon. It's just there, but it's closed off. And yes, it's not the world's most impressive castle, but it's a castle and I like it. And I will go and post up some pictures. But coming up later tonight, ladies and gents, in about 5 minutes' time, I'm going to read some works from Ovid's Metamorphoses. Absolutely, it is a castle server. That's the important thing. It's a castle. Well, dragons are bad for doing that, aren't they? Bad dragons. But I'm going to start reading from Orpheus's song from the Metamorphoses by Ovid, which should be fun to read. I've never read those aloud before on Poetry Live, so it'll be fun to do some Ovid poetry over on Poetry Live in a few minutes. So I hope you guys can join me for that. It looks like we can get through without a power cut, which is awesome. Well, Julie, I'm glad. I'm glad I can introduce you to some of these poets. Well, Texas, from what I've heard, the States doesn't have nearly as many castles as it should. You deserve more castles, but I'm sure you've got some wonderful stuff hanging around in Texas that we don't get over here. Absolutely, absolutely, Queen. The sage has worked. Praying to the old weather gods has paid off. There's been no power cut over here, and that's what we like. No power cuts. Staying on here. All good fun. But there we go. I don't have mesquite trees. I've got sheep and I've got a castle, but no mesquite tree. There you go. There you go. You're winning on that ratio, Texas, which is no Viking swords in your ground either. Well, clearly, what you need to do is to get some nice folk to bury some stuff. Get them to bury some stuff so that you can go and find it, and then dig it up. You'll be well away, guys. Well away indeed. Yes, actually that is. Yes, there you go. Texas has the Alamo, which will count as a castle. So there, Texas has a castle. I've got a castle. Everyone's got a castle. And what I'm going to do now is close this scope down, refill my drink, and then see you in a couple of minutes' time for Poetry Live, and I'll go and do the Metamorphosis. Hope you guys can come and join me for that. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It is, so it should have more castles in the UK, shouldn't it? If it's bigger than the UK, it deserves more fun stuff. But I say, for the UK it's tiny, but we do pack it really, really well, full of things as well. But we've all got, this is the wonderful thing, everyone's place has got, I think, something worth shouting about. We've got castles, and Texas has mesquite trees and the Alamo. Anyway, going to refill my drink. See you guys in a few minutes' time. Let's go and do some Orpheus song. We always need more cowbell. And now I'm going to have Don't Fear the Reaper stuck in my head for the rest of the night. So thank you for that, Texas. Blue Oyster Cult will be with me until I fall asleep now.